Yay, Heather!
Hi, good evening. I work with Texans for Accountable Government. We are a trans-partisan political action committee. What that means is we work with both the left, so-called left, and so-called right. That paradigm exists. But we do work with the left and the right on different issues. We focus on building single-issue coalitions because in a lot of instances it's the state versus the people. It's totalitarianism versus freedom. And as long as we continue to be divided along political lines and philosophical lines that are the big picture, we're going to continue to be conquered. And so that's what TAG's all about. We were formed out of the Ron Paul campaign in 2008. After the campaign was over, I wasn't involved at the time, but the folks just decided that we didn't want to just stop. And so they formed a political action committee and started working. We focus on local and state issues. I don't know about you guys, but I got involved in about 2008. And it was during the bailout. And what I realized was two things. First of all, I made my phone calls to my congressman, just like I think probably many of you guys did, and millions of people across the country. And I realized two things. One, that neither Democrats nor Republicans give a damn about what we think. They are both two heads of the totalitarian beast. And number two, federal activism is almost worthless. We have to get involved locally. A lot of these federal programs are being implemented at the local level, so it's something we can all do in our own localities. There's three pillars for Texans for Accountable Government. I think that these are the reasons why we've had so much success in only 3 years. The first is humanizing. And this is something that Caitlin talked about during the panel, and I think that is so important that we really bring this libertarianism and this revolution to a human level and start talking about why these things are important to us and our families, and why this is, violence and the force of the state is immoral. And that is what we're fighting against. We're not fighting bickering back and forth. This is about, freedom. This is about our livelihood, and we're living an incredible time in the course of human history. And it's important that we start conveying that when we're communicating with others. Harmonizing is the second pillar. We don't always agree with the left, and we certainly don't always agree with the right. But on a lot of issues, we can agree. And when we can, it's important that we come together. There's a lot of things that both the left and the right do agree on, and they are just so divided through the media and through the big picture kind of thing that they can't see that really it is totalitarianism versus freedom. The third part is localizing the effort. Like I said, when I got involved, I realized you can't expect to start with the top down. If we can all start these brush fires in our own counties, in our own cities, in our own states, then we can start thinking about getting this country back on track. And this country when it was founded, it was the best form of government that humans have formed for themselves, other than when there wasn't government. So, we have this system in place, and these things are available. The system can be worked. It just has gotten so far from there. There are all of the systems, like locally. We can go to our commissioners. There's commissions and there's subcommittees. You can start there and start building up and start communicating, because our local officials, believe it or not, they're humans. And they are interested in what we have to say when we can really get it onto the human level. So I want to thank you all for being involved. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being involved. Ron Paul is awesome, but he is not the revolution. Each and every one of you are. So thank you for being involved. Thank you for being here.